morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert B. Foster, and I am here today to show you how to stop doubting yourself and how to move forward towards what you want to get out of this lifetime. So in 2009, and for those of you old enough to remember, we were having a recession. We were in a recession at that time. And it was a pretty tumultuous year for me, as that February, I lost my job when my now ex was pregnant with twins. And those were our fourth and fifth children. So at the time, they were 10, 7, 10, 6, and our youngest was 2. So a lot of change hit my life as I was let go for the first time. But then a change happened because I was unhappy. I was unfulfilled in my job as a restaurant manager anyway. I was missing a lot of things with my children. Missing things at school, missing milestones, the first tooth coming through, taking the first steps, things of that nature. Wasn't able to help out with potty training because I was working all the time. So when I lost my job, initially, I was mad because I didn't really do anything to get let go. Just because of the recession, and I made more than the other manager, they let me go. So I decided I had just started doing fitness kind of on the side. It was like a little side hustle, and it was kind of for me a little bit as well, just to let off steam from being in the restaurant industry. So now I was like, all right, I can pursue fitness full force because I didn't want to do that anyway. But it's really hard to make that decision when you don't really know what the outcome is going to be. When you have a steady job and a steady paycheck, it's easier to plan your life. But as everybody knows, life begins outside of your comfort zone. So I made that charge into fitness. I got my certifications. I got myself back into shape. So I was like, you know what? I think I want to compete in track and field again. Because growing up, I was an all-American track and field athlete. And I kind of wanted to feel that feeling again. Not even so much of winning. I just love the thrill of competition. Because at my core, that's who I am. I'm a competitor. So everything that I go through in life, I look at it through the lens of a competitor. So I get myself into shape. I find the meet that I want to do. I'm over 30 now, so I'm in the Masters division, 30 to 34 age group. And I did the long jump and the high jump. So now I was still scratching the surface with fitness. So the way I was training, I didn't realize I was giving myself a muscular imbalance. So I get out there for this track meet and I win the long jump. That wasn't a problem, but now we're at the high jump. And I have my age bracket already won. So it was kind of stupid of me to continue jumping. But as I just said, I'm a competitor. So there was still a 45-year-old competing. And my ego got the best of me. It's like, I'm not going to let this old guy beat me. So we have to keep going. So now he goes, he jumps, he misses. I go, I jump, I miss. But I felt a tug in my left knee. Now, I've had tendonitis in this knee ever since I heard it as a teenager. So I just thought it was another flare-up. I didn't think anything of it. So the other competitor goes, he jumps, he misses. Now I'm thinking, this guy's cooked. He has no chance. So let me just take this one last jump and let's slam the door on this competition. And it was the perfect scene. You know, the high jump is an event that a lot of people tend to flock to and watch as the bar gets down to the last couple jumpers. So people were around. It was a beautiful day. I can still feel the sun shining down on my face. There was a light breeze. This was July 19th of 2009. And so I go to take this final jump into my approach. I plant to jump, but then I saw white. Now, I don't know how long I saw white. I don't know if it was instantaneous or if I was out for a little bit, but I vividly remember seeing white. And then when I came to, I looked down at my leg and my kneecap wasn't where it was supposed to be. And my kneecap was about 4 inches up my quad muscle. And I'm like, wow, what just happened? In the blink of an eye, I went from being in the best shape of my life to now I have this ridiculous knee injury. So fortunately, I must have had some nerve damage in there as well, because I felt the release, but it wasn't painful. So that was good. So the athletic trainer comes running over, and I have my hands like this over my knee. And I had yelled for, again, my now ex to call for an ambulance. So the trainer comes over, and I told her, I said, I already have an ambulance on the way. And she goes, oh, I don't think you're going to need an ambulance. And then I moved my hand and she saw my knee, and the look on her face, like, it's burned into my brain. She just had a look of horror. And she's like, how are you not screaming in pain right now? And I was like, oh, this, I'm like, I can't feel this. I said, but a more pressing question. I said, how do I get my gold medals? Because at the end of the day, I did still win the competition. So I paid a huge price, but I still won, and I wanted my medals. So now the moment that nearly changed everything, I should say the moment that did change everything, I'm in the emergency room, and the ER doctor comes in. He takes off the brace that the EMTs put on, and without missing a beat, within mere seconds, he looks me dead in my eyes and says, you will never run or jump again. And initially, because I'm just as human as everyone else, initially I kind of hung on those words. I was like, wow. And as I just mentioned, I had 5 young kids, and the thought I'll never be able to run again. I mean, the jumping part, that is what it is. But I was like, I'll never be able to run again, like run around the playground with my kids, play basketball, play volleyball, or just be a family, just running around doing stuff, playing tag. And I started going down that rabbit hole of all the things that I wouldn't be able to do. But then a beautiful thing happened. Competitor Rob jumped out and said, whoa. This guy doesn't know how we're going to heal. Like, we haven't even had the surgery yet. So in that moment, I had a decision that I can hang on this guy's words, or I can forge my own path forward. And again, without even having the surgery yet, I decided this guy doesn't know me like that. He doesn't know what I'm willing to go through. He doesn't know how hard I'm going to attack my recovery, my rehabilitation. It's like, he can't put any type of diagnosis on that. I said, so I refuse to accept that. So now we have the surgery, and full transparency, oh my Lord, did that hurt. It, like, the first 2 weeks was just nothing but pain. And this was on pain meds. So I couldn't imagine feeling that without the pain meds. But we get to my first follow-up appointment, and he tells me I can already start to put pressure on my leg, because I went home with a walker and a wheelchair. Like, I didn't even have crutches yet, just a walker and a wheelchair. So he tells me I can start putting pressure on it, and he gives me crutches. And almost immediately, I start walking without the crutches. So I'm thinking, I probably could have walked like 2 weeks ago. But because, and full transparency, I'm not telling people don't listen to your doctors. I'm just sharing my story. So I was like, I probably could have done this 2 weeks ago. And so I started walking. Now we'll fast forward a little. I get cleared to go back to work. And I have to wear this big old brace, because we don't want to risk any type of falls or anything. And then this one day, I'm at the track with my kids. I was like, you know what? Let me just see. This was only 5 months post-surgery. 5 months. Maybe even less, because it was still pretty warm out. So maybe 4 months, because this happened in July. So say 4 months post-surgery. I was like, let me see if I can get both feet off the ground at the same time. And I was able to. It's like, granted, I looked like a newborn giraffe, but I ran. Like, after being told just 4 months prior, you will never run or jump again. Now, it was in that moment where I knew I was going to make a full recovery. And people ask, well, Rob, how did you do it? They gave me minimums to do for physical therapy. They didn't give me any maximums. So they sent me home with a CPM machine, and you put your leg on it, and it helps you bend your leg. Because 2 of my 4 quadricep muscles had complete atrophy, meaning I couldn't engage them on my own. So I had to put electric stim pads on, and they told me minimum 3 hours a day. But they didn't give me a maximum. So I kept them babies on all day long. All day. CPM machine, they said minimum 3 hours a day. Kept that all day long. I went to physical therapy. I got the exercises that they gave me, and I did that and then some. Now, I wasn't reckless about it. Like, I found out where my pain thresholds were, and then I just stayed below the thresholds. And, we fast forward again a few more months. Initially, I was told I was going to rehab for 18 months to 2 years. I get cleared from physical therapy in 4.5 months. 4.5 months. Now, I'm not saying that to flex, right? This talk isn't about me, right? So now I want to shift how my story applies to you. What is stopping you from being that person that you were meant to be? What is it? Is it self-doubt? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it somebody else telling you that you're not good enough, right? Is your inner circle not supportive? Because in my book, Shut Up and Grind, I have 13 worksheets in there that will help you get past anything that is blocking your path, any pain that you have suffered, any type of trauma, PTSD. It'll help uplift you from whatever is holding you down, because it's about purpose. You got to find a way to take that pain and turn it into purpose. So I took my journey of being told that I'd never run or jump again, and I turned it into something to where I can help people, and that makes it bigger than what happened. Okay, people have knee surgery every day, but people also just believe the first diagnosis that they get. Like, I know a person who was told he had 2 years to live, and that was 15 years ago. On my podcast with the same name, Shut Up and Grind, I interview people from all over the world, 6 of the 7 continents, and we share stories of overcoming. So it doesn't matter what you suffered, somewhere in there's teachable moments, and that you can take that pain and use in those teachable moments to inspire other people who are going through a similar pain. And that's how you turn pain into power. Like, I watched my father pass away in 2019. We had to end care for him. And the first thing people say is, I'm sorry. But death is a part of life, right? There's nothing to be sorry about. So we have to take that moment, and then what good came from it? He was an engineer. He built a lot of things that are still here. We can look at them. We can go into his garage and just remember stories that he told us. You know, the things, the life lessons he gave me, the times where I wanted to shake him, because we know that happens, right? But if I just get stuck on, I watched him die, I'll never heal. So now we have to make it into something bigger, where people who are freshly going through grief, I can share how I was able to get to a place of gratitude. And that gratitude is now how I deal with his loss of him physically not being here. So if you want to learn more about me, you can go to robertbfoster.com. In there, I have a free worksheet right out of the book about prioritizing yourself without the guilt. And again, this book isn't about me. I do share some of my stories in there to highlight the worksheets, but the worksheets are about you, getting you from that place of pain, from that place of overwhelm or feeling helpless or hopeless. Going through this, you're going to be surprised what is hidden in your subconscious mind. And this book is going to help you pull it all out and show you what you can do with that power. Whether you want to start blogging, whether you want to just journal it for yourself so you can heal yourself and lift that weight. If you want to start a podcast or speak on podcasts to share your story, because there's somebody out there that needs to hear your story like only you can tell it. Okay, so whatever pain you're keeping inside, your true power lies in that pain. Okay, because anybody can bury stuff inside. It takes a very strong person to face that vulnerability and get on a live platform like this and share the dirty parts of your life, you know, the hurtful parts of your life. But other people are going to hear that and resonate with it. Yeah, may some people judge you? Yeah, don't worry about them, right? I don't have time for the haters and the trolls. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the people who are inspired by my words and what I have to say, and the people that need someone to lean on. Those are the people that I share this stuff for. So again, you got robertbfoster.com. You can search for me on social. My podcast is on all of the major podcast platforms. If you want to catch it live, I live stream on my 2 Facebook pages and on LinkedIn. So I want to thank Global Speakers Talk for this opportunity to come and share with the audience. I hope you guys got some takeaways from this. And my final words are, if you have something that you want to do, get started. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to put hours per day in. Just get started. Right? With my book, it took me 3 years to write. You know, so it doesn't have to be perfect. There is no better time than now, because this is all you're promised. Nobody's promised tomorrow. So stop putting off that thing that you really want to do, because you have greatness within you. You just have to look inside, sort through your life stories, and then find what platform you want to use to tell those stories. So again, Global Speakers Talk, thank you for this opportunity. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. And I hope to connect with you in the future. Thank you.